Kirby. I'm really proud and honored to be here in front of you all today. I have been teaching for 12 years, and 10 of those have been in the alternative education field. I currently teach at Pacific High School, which is the continuation school that serves the northern part of the district. And before that, I was at Keira for quite a while, and then before that, I taught elementary. So I've got K through 12 experience, so I will try to hit the needs of everybody. I currently teach computers, business, world history, and PE. So I have a lot of fun. 4 preps is no bueno. Next year, I only have 3 preps. I'm really excited about that. So those of you who have more than 1 prep, or if you teach elementary school, I am pale in your comparison because you teach everything. So anyway, I'm really glad to be here. I'm Keira. I hope to learn your names as we proceed. So what I have planned is that you're going to get a look at some Google Docs. You are going to use the comment feature to collaborate with others. You're going to navigate through your Drive and the classroom. Also, you're going to use the Google Classroom screen and the tools within that, because there's even a new one as of last month. So it's really exciting how Google changes and listens to its teachers when we give them feedback. You're going to create a virtual classroom experience today, and you're going to create an assignment in Google Classroom using Google Docs. I know you're so excited. And then we'll do all of this. No problem, right?
We're excited.
I'm excited. So Google Classroom works best in Chrome. We're good. So don't use something else. It will work, it just won't work well. When you log in, which I think you all are, you know it's your first name dot last name at Twin Rivers, and then it's your password that you have designated. For your students, it's their long student ID number, their lunch number. Most of them know it because they get lunch. And our district has a bunch of wonderful students who do get free and reduced lunch. And so that's something that they use every day. I have this posted in my classroom all over, because even though they've been doing it all year, sometimes they're like, is it the .org? Is it .com? So I recommend you have that. I just put number sign at twinriversusd.org. And then the initial password for your students is, they can change it. And it's up to you if you think in your classroom experience that if you think they all should have a unique password, you can encourage that, because even having a safe password is a great lesson in today's culture. I have my students keep it just because, and nobody's going to do someone else's work. I'm trying to get them to do their own work. But they do have choices. You have the power to change a student's password on your intranet. How many of you are familiar with intranet? A little bit? Yes, a lot of it? So I'm going to show you how to access that. And from your home screen, it's this lovely little box right here. So often it's saved if you have accessed it before, but it's right here. It's a couple little friends, little students on a yellow square. And that will take you to intranet, where you can change your students' passwords. Unfortunately, you won't be able to do that right now because you have no students. Because we're very sad to be on summer break. I can walk through that one more time. Yes?
What you're talking about here, is this accessing a Google Drive? When you say an account, is this in Google Drive that you're going to?
I am currently not in Google Drive.
What I'm just wondering is, I have Google Drive for myself personally that I have my personal stuff on.
Yes.
And I want to make sure that
they stay separate.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great question. And yes, they can be separate. And I can show you, does everybody have that question? Because I can show you that right now if you want. Okay? So at the top, you see my name. It says Keira Kirby, blah, 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 blah. If you manage people, you can add more than one person to be a part of the same Chrome experience or not. So what we're looking to do is make sure that my personal Gmail doesn't end up here. So would you do that for me? Would you go to this name at the top? And would you hit Manage People? And just give me a hands up if you have more than one person logged in. Yeah, oh, sorry, okay. Yeah, Roger, right. Yeah, Manage People, perfect. Yeah, so you just have one. So if you just have your school, your work account, that would show up. If you had your personal, that would also be here. And you can click that person, ooh, or not. You can choose to remove that person by clicking this lovely little X. You can add that person. I like to keep them separate, and I tell the students keep them separate. So that way when they save it to a drive, it's only the school drive. So that's the best way to navigate it through there. There are multiple levels of access to Chrome. Some people don't have a name here, but your picture's right here. Yes, no, maybe so. And that's going to limit where you can go under that login. So if your name is here, your Chrome experience will be unique to what you have created. And it wouldn't be your personal, it would be your work. What's neat about this presentation that you're looking at right now, what's neat about every single Google Doc, it's not actually a document file on a device. This is a living, breathing site that changes and can be accessed from anything. Because I could close this down, I could sit right next to you, I could log in, and I could get the same thing I was working on. And you guys are on this same site right now. So this is all of you right here. So that's why when you try to share this, you're sharing a link and not just a document. I think it is important that we show our students how to turn one of these into a PDF. It is important that we show students how to turn a Google Doc into a Word document, because when they fill out their resume, when they create a resume in a Google Doc, and they have to go on Craigslist and submit it in Word, there's a disconnect. I teach business. My students apply on jobs on Craigslist all the time, but they need to know how to do that, and that's something else I'll show you as well. So all of us in this room have opened a Google Doc before, yes? All right, so this is linked. Please go to this link. So this is an assignment I gave my students. We are comparing and contrasting the presidential debates between Kennedy and Nixon in 1960 and the debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. So this is the link to Hillary Clinton. This is the link to the Kennedy-Nixon debate. It was a really powerful way to show debate format. I didn't actually have them argue the topics, the issues of the time, but they were looking at the format of the debate. In this Google Doc, if you don't mind, looking at the comment sections, I kept some of them from the last session so you could see. This is just a regular old doc, and I inserted a couple links, and I gave students a place to show their work. If in a document you don't designate a spot for your students to provide their feedback, they won't know where to put it. It might be intuitive, we'll just write it. They're like, where? So I highly recommend when you're creating assignments, designate a spot to where they're supposed to work. And all this is, so I'm going to go to Insert, Table, and if you just do 1 by 1 table and give it a couple spaces, there is a spot for student work. And they're like, oh, okay, and it's just right response here, something like that. And then they know what to do. Some of our students need less guidance, some of our students need more, and so this provides them the structure they need.
With permissions and everything?
So that's a great question, because there are different levels of permission. This particular document, when I go to share, I have it set up that anybody can see it, because I do lots of different trainings with lots of different teachers, not all of them for Twin Rivers. And so if I go to share with anyone with a link, so this document is anyone with a link. The default for district is anyone with a Twin Rivers login. That's the default. And often it's anybody can see it, not edit it. I want you to edit this. I want you to type it. But if you have, done. I love that they're videotaping me and I'm like, it doesn't work. You have the power to change that. If you have a document like a rubric, so if you look at the very bottom of this document, there's a rubric for how I'm grading it. Because how wonderful is that my students know how they will be graded. Ta-da! Look at that. That is a link to another document of which they would not have the rights to edit. They just get to look at that. And when I will grade this, I actually just go through and I highlight what their points are. I just highlight, doop, 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 doop. And it's brilliant. It's a very visual way, what they did well, what they accomplished, what is their skill and ability.
When they edit the document, they're editing the original documents, which gets saved as the original document, or do they produce their own document with their name on it?
That's a fantastic question. So it depends on how I shared it. This document that we're working on right now, you are editing my original because I wanted you to. But when I give it to students, I give them their own copy so they can't change my template because I want to use that for my next class or my next year. So I usually don't ever give students rights to my templates.
But if you have 30 students and they're all editing the same document,
Mm-hmm.
how do they have their own work?
That's a fantastic question. I would give each student their own copy. And in Google Classroom, that is one click to do that.
Oh, okay.
It's magic.
And then they submit it to you, or it's in a
And then they
place
hit-
and you look for it?
No, so there's a little button here that says turn in, and it'll be right on the assignment page. So I'm going to show you all of that in just one moment. If you would do me a favor, in the very top of your presidential debate worksheet, could you make a copy of it and save it? Keira Kirby, how do I do that again? Oh, don't worry, I will tell you. All right. Make a copy. All right, so we have a copy. You have your own copy of our presidential debates activity where you have expressed yourself brilliantly in your comparing and contrasting skills. Fantastic. But we have so many questions about how to do this within a Google Classroom, within a classroom setting. So if you have more questions about docs, there's some cheat sheets. And I want to talk about Classroom now, because these docs are great, but how do we give them? How do we grade them? How do we see them? Now, Google Classroom is an online learning management system where students can learn and access content and have a little bit of control over their pace, which is exciting. And you as a teacher have synchronous feedback where, like right now, I'm teaching to you. We're all synchronized together in this experience. I can also asynchronously support my kids, and my students can asynchronously ask for help. So on that doc, a student could have highlighted something and said, Mrs. Kirby, I don't understand the question. I don't get it, in a comment. And then I could have responded back. So we could have a dialogue online, whether it's during your prep period or tutorial, or, all teachers work after hours. It's just true. Not always, but, except for when we're work to rule. Just kidding. Just got crazy. So the learning management system that Google provides is really wonderful, and it's free, and your students have access to it only under their Twin Rivers account. So if they log in under their student account, loves to have fun at gmail.com, they won't get to see your Google Classroom. So that's why they have to log in with their long lunch number at twinriversusd.org. So you're going to join a class. So please do me the honor of opening a new tab and go to classroom.google.com. You're going to open up a fresh tab and go to classroom.google.com. At the very top right-hand side of your screen, there's a big plus sign. Please click that plus and you're going to join my class. That is the same place that you would go to create your own class. So classroom.google.com, big plus sign, top right corner. It says join or create. You will join my class. Here's our code, CH99BC. So these are models of different ways you can use the classroom. So this is an interest inventory, purple. So this is something kids can take, my favorite color, my favorite song, anything you want me to know. Students can take this. And it can be dished out through your Google Classroom page. As well as these awful, just aggressive, egregious essays. So we can have the warm and fuzzy, and we can have the things that build that muscle in the brain. When you go to classroom.google.com, you as a teacher may have different classes that you are the teacher of, and now you are a student in this particular one. I think it's really powerful to see the student view, so that's why I wanted to show you now what you guys can see as students, because as a teacher, you're going to see my view when I show you this. So when I open the training class, this is what you will see. At the bottom right-hand corner, do you see the plus sign? So as a student, you can contribute and post work. Somebody please click that plus and tell me what it says. Create post. Create post. Students, all you get to do is create a post. As the teacher, when I hit that, I have 4 options. All right, choices. So you can create an announcement, which is just bring your sack lunch to school tomorrow for a field trip, or no school Monday, or whatever announcement you want to have. You can create an assignment, which the image is a little clipboard. That tells Google Classroom that this is going to be graded. I want to give a grade for this. And I'm expecting student work. You can ask a question, which is right here. It's a little question mark. If you see on yours, you see my picture. It says bell work, and then it has a spot for you to write your answer. And then create a question, and then this is brand new, which is pretty exciting, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute. First, please give my bell work a go. This is called a rebus puzzle. It's a word or phrase we use in the English language, but it's a puzzle, right? So you look at it, and it's the first one listed in our training classroom. What do you think that means? A cut above the rest. Get it? It's, yes. I have hundreds of these. They're so much fun, and the students will look at them like, I think, and you know what I use this for? I say, you know that painful feeling? That's called learning and trying. Like, that's what we're going for this whole time. Because they're really looking at something, they know the information is there, they know they probably have access to it, and there's times when one student will get it and she'll say it out loud, or he'll say it out loud, and everyone's like, oh, I can't believe I didn't get it. And it's just a lot of fun. So this is one fun way that I choose to create culture in my classroom of sharing knowledge, yes, and figuring something out. And they're just so proud when they I got it. I'll get a quiet thing like, I got it, Mrs. Kirby. Yeah. So when I see this, when I open it up, then I can see everybody's answers. So that particular activity in my classroom is a grade, no grade.
Do you have to open up each person individually to see their comments?
No. It would list all of them. But that is a great question. All right, let's scroll down to the second assignment. So this is a quick write. You have 10 minutes to complete this activity. Be thoughtful. So my students are walking in during the passing period. I say, log into Google, your bell work is posted, and then we have a quick write. Right? I have the first 20 minutes of my class done. 5 minutes to get settled, 5 minutes for the bell work, 10 minutes for the quick write. So everyone is on task. Everyone knows what they're doing, and then when the quick write's over, then I can start whatever instruction or whatever the next stage is. So I'm going to open up this doc. Go ahead and open up yours. So majority power, minority rights. What does the above statement mean to you? Who or what is a majority, minority? What are rights? What is power? And this is where the students respond. They have 10 minutes. And let's say this is the introduction to a lesson that I have planned, right? When they're done, what do you see right here on yours? Look at your screen, because mine doesn't show it. Turn in, thank you. So when they're done, because I don't have that view, right? I'm the teacher. This is the document I pushed out. And tell me your name again. Hi. What's your name? Michelle. Michelle says, I don't want to have to send this to all these kids, right? I don't want to do that either. When I created this assignment in Google Classroom, I said send a copy to each student. So automatically, all of you got your own copy with your name on it. so exciting. So their name's on it. It's in their drive. And not only that, I can see you as you're working. I'm like a spy. So when I open this document, quick write, I can see all of you, and I can see how many of you have actually written something or not written something. And not only that, I can pop in there to your document. Let's see. Who can I pick on? I'm not really going to pick on anybody. I'm going to pick on Sheer. Hey, Sheer. So now Sheer and I, Sheer, raise your hand. That's Sheer. Sheer and I are right here. And I can say, give example, you know, let's say he wrote and I want to give him a comment. This is a good start. Keep thinking. You know, or you only gave one example. You should have given two. In this assignment, I pushed out this document to you. That was a part of the assignment. So, quick write. Majority power, minority rights. I gave you a document to complete and turn in. There was that turn in button. Presidential debates. When you open this, there's nothing there because you have it on your drive. You created that document separately. So from here, if you were to open this, you would see this fancy little button that has a paperclip for attaching a document or pull it from your drive. So go ahead and look at that if you don't mind. Go to your presidential debate lesson that I pushed out to you. It's right underneath the quick write. Yeah, so you have the presidential debate. When you open it, there's no doc. You have to add it from your drive because you saved a copy to your drive about 5 minutes ago. And then you would hit submit. You with me? So there is a difference, and that's part of how it's used. Also, if you if you create a Google slide or a form or something else, you're not going to see the turn in button. But it is important to note there's that turn in button and there is submit. If there is a turn in button, you don't need to press submit. So we've looked at 3 ways. You have 3 ways to use Google Classroom. You can ask questions, whether it's a silly puzzle or a current event. You can create an assignment, and literally this did not take long to write. But I'm going to get some amazing, thoughtful answers from my students. That is a bridge to an amazing lesson that we're going to have. So accessing that prior knowledge. And and then the last one is we worked on a document and then we're adding it to your classroom. Let's see how many of you were able to do that. Let's see. I love being the spy. All right, so presidential debate. Five of you have turned this in. Thank you very much. So I would be able to read Jenna's. I can add comments. I can give feedback. I can just give her the grade. If, 1 and done, you're done now. So this is how I would grade it. She's actually currently on it. Well done. Good job. No, it's clever. So when I go back to my classroom, I can choose to give her a grade here. And she could see that in Google Classroom. I teach at a school that uses School Loop. That is where all of my grades have to go. I do not grade them twice. And if you have Illuminate, they don't pair. Google does pair with School Loop in that I can create an assignment in School Loop and push it to my classroom. And that's exciting because then I don't have to type 2 things. But grading does not play yet. At this point, when I grade it, I personally don't grade it here. You can, and you have every right to. Well done. But my students know to go to School Loop because that's where it's at right now. And that's where our district currently is. It doesn't look like we're moving from that. Let's say, who's Mario? Is Mario in here? Hey. Let's say, Mario, I want to talk to you about your paper. you know, so let's say, I'm trying to find your name. Here we go. If I click Mario's name right here in this assignment, I'm going to see his copy, but I'm given an opportunity to give him a private comment, which is pretty powerful because I can say, hey, Mario, great start. By the end of next period, this needs to be completely finished. Or, you did slides 2 and 3 great. You did a very good job on your introductory paragraph, or you could set goals for them. You could give them feedback. Things like that right here. Nobody needs to see it. Nobody sees it but them, and they'll do that right when they get to their assignment. So we've looked at how to ask a question. We've looked at assigning from Google Drive, giving kids feedback. And this is asynchronously. That's the whole thing. I can give feedback on my prep when I'm not with kids, right? Because it's hard to teach and grade and differentiate all at the same time. Now, are you ready? This is exciting. I'm excited. I'm going to show you around my computers class. So this 3 little bars at the upper corner on your computer are 3 horizontal lines, yes? Okay, that's where you navigate through your classes. I'm going to go there, and you won't be able to see this. Whoa. Except for up on the smartboard. This is my computers class. I teach coding, I teach writing, I teach lots of fun things. So I created a PowerPoint. It was only 4 slides. And each one gave students direction and support about what I expected for each slide. What is your invention? Insert an image. Next, what's the function of the tech? Next, who created it? Yes, all of them, and include an image. And then, what does the future hold? So this is a mini research project for students to do. You can include as much support here or give them a blank template. So as teachers, we get to differentiate the resource that our students get. Now let's see what the students produced. So if you can read right here, I know it's hard to see, sorry. Oh, there we go. Each student will get a copy. So when I created this assignment, that's what you have to designate. You get 3 choices. A student can view the file. A student can edit the file. Or each student gets a copy. Almost always give their students their own copy. We see all of the logic behind this, yes. And then it's automatically in their drive. So that's exciting. Let's go look to see who finished. We'll look at Taviana's. So Taviana got that blank template, or well, with minimal support, and she created a report on tattoo guns. She thought that was exciting, and she had some intrinsic interest in that, so there you go. And each slide, she changed font, she changed all sorts of fun stuff. And this is one way students can get voice and choice about their learning. Love technology. Love it. There we go. If you have students who are level 1 EL learners, if you have students who have IEPs, you can push out documents to them that are different and provide more support, and nobody knows. So I would like you to follow me if you will. I'm going to create a new assignment, and let's just call it fun time. And I'm going to pull a document from my drive that they're going to work on, and it's going to be fantastic. Let's see. Tra-la-la. OK, they're going to do this activity. So see how it says student can view, student can edit, make a copy. I'm going to make a copy for all of these kiddos. When I assign this, I can click all students, or I can select which students get it. You with me? This is new this year. Google Classroom did not have this last year. I was thrilled because then I can go and assign the same assignment with a different attachment to those 4 students. And when they all are working, everyone's getting the support they need. Yes?
Like Dylan over there said, how do you get other kids from other classes that, maybe you have period 1, period 2? How do you get those kids in there?
Okay. Let's do that. So let's say we want this particular assignment and I'm just going to go with all kids for right now, to a different class. This drop-down arrow shows me all my classrooms. Let's say business is going to get it, world history is going to get it, my training class is going to get it. So now this one assignment is being sent to 4 classes. And I can press assign. Well, Google one up on us. So let's say you made an amazing assignment. Your PE class, it was a rainy day, or it was 110 degrees. So you're inside and you're working on things. Because Common Core, even PE teachers teach writing. You had your students do a lesson on how sugar affects the body. And it was an amazing opportunity. And you're like, I need to have all my kids do this. So this is what's fantastic. Do you see this plus sign again? I told you I would come back to it. I didn't lie. This is new within the last month or so. This reuse post. Goodness gracious. All right, so if I want to reuse a post, it's going to ask me, what class do I want to reuse the post from? And I'm going to go to PE. And I want to do how does soda affect the body? Okay, so I select that class, that assignment. I'm going to hit reuse. And it's going to ask me which classes. And I'm going to say all of them because I think all of my students should know how soda affects the body. And I'm going to hit assign. So that's a new feature which I love because if you do all this work to create one assignment in one classroom and then you're like, I have to copy all those links again. I have to write that description again. I have to do the course description again. And it's not that difficult, but now Google has made it even that much easier to provide this particular learning opportunity to our students. And I want to back up just a little bit. So this learning management system isn't just for worksheets. It's not just for papers. It can be a YouTube video. It could be primary sources from the Library of Congress. It could be a screencast of something that you did earlier. I mean, really the sky is the limit. The internet is the limit. Whatever we can access online, we can cater a learning opportunity for them. YouTube is great, but there's a lot of garbage on it. And if you say, oh, just YouTube, Romeo and Juliet, you're going to get a lot of stuff that maybe isn't the best representation, and you want them to have a certain experience, right? So you find the one you want, and you post it here. Students can do this not only in your classroom on their devices that the school provides, students can do this on their phones or on their tablets. The Google Classroom app is free. The Google Docs app is free. Students can text, students can type their assignments if that's a mode that they find comfortable. And so we as teachers need to judge, I think keyboarding is a skill. My kids type. We have keyboarding. We have races. It's very fun. We have king and queen of the keyboard every Wednesday. It's exciting. But texting is the thing. And it's not an inappropriate way to communicate knowledge and learning. In Google Classroom, you see 3 things across the top. You see stream. You see students. You see about. You probably see stream, classmates, and about. Yes? If you're in our training site.
Oh, no, I'm in a different one.
Well, shame on you. Come on now, overachiever.
Okay.
So each of these, there we go. Each of these frames serves a different purpose. So your stream is where we're assigning active work. The classmates is where we can see who's enrolled, right? You don't get to do much as a student there. And under about is what I want to talk about. Here, this is where you can put your classroom norms, your links to Spelling City or Khan Academy or any other site that you go to frequently and you just want to have that readily accessible. You can also put your rubrics here so students are always aware of how you grade things. And it's familiarizing them and giving them access to those. See, look at that. How does soda affect the body? I reused my other post and shared it to the class. It was brilliant. So under about, this is dragon training. What do? Fun cupcake shenanigans. I have a compare and contrast rubric. You can add all sorts of things here. for you to support your class, to support your students. This is also a cool thing. As a teacher, I have all my students. I can invite their parents via email. What? Invite guardian. I can type in his wife's name. Mohammed, your husband, during class, blah, 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 right? Because he's here. Anyway, this is another really neat thing. So if you don't have parent email, most parents will communicate on their cell phones, right? Right? Sort of. Well, to be fair, most of the time when I call a parent, they don't answer. No. They don't want to talk to me.
They know what's
They don't want to talk to me.
If you call from the school, it gives that 566 or whatever.
It does. Yeah. They don't want to talk to me.
I would want to answer that one.
They don't want to talk to me. No, they don't want to talk to me. So I'll call a parent, because I call parents, and they don't answer. And so I'll send them a quick text message. I'm like, hey, I'd like to talk to you about Joaquin's behavior today. He was great. He was amazing. It was the best day ever. Right? I like to send those too. We do the good, the bad, and the ugly. Guess what? That parent will text me back in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
They won't take my call, but they will text me. So there are applications like Reminder and others where you can send messages to parents via text if you don't want to give them your personal number. Also, if you text the phone number at Verizon.org, each mobile carrier has a different ending. That email that you can send will go as a text message to their phone. So I suggest you do a little research. Actually, I have a worksheet that my students made. I can push that out on our classroom page. So I will. No, and because if they have Cricket, if they have Sprint, if they have T-Mobile, depending on what they have, there is a different ending. So, and it really depends on your comfort level. If you are okay with your students' families having your personal cell phone, I personally don't care. Because I have an I have an iPhone, and I can block anybody's number in 2 seconds. So if a student got a hold of my number and was being inappropriate, it's not difficult to block. And I love filling out referral paperwork. Yay! No, not really. But I think the benefit of having the communication with parents, I believe, outweighs the potential risk. And usually they don't, if I stand next to a student, proximity, right, is great. You're like, I see you're off task again. Do I need to call grandma?
If you want to.
That's actually what they say, like, I don't care. And I was like, okay. And they're like, no, don't. Because I'll send her a quick message, be like, hey, here's a picture of your grandson not working. Actually, I don't say that. I'm like, I really hope your grandson can be more successful. I wanted to let you know that I value him in class and I expect him to work hard. Please have a conversation with him at home. She's like, thank you for sharing this with me, right? They want to know, but we're busy, we're working, right? So if I can make communication easy for me and my parents, everyone's going to be successful. So you can invite them here. You can send them text messages, right? So even if you were to put their cell phone number at whatever carrier they have, every time you want to send them a message, it sends them a text. So that is a bit of work, but I wanted to show you the resource. So under About, you can also invite teachers. So let's say you have 10th grade world history and you have 2 world history teachers on your site. You can have one class between the 2 of you, or I want to have my own class because she works at a different pace than me, but I want to see what she's doing. And she steals my stuff and I steal her stuff, and we steal and we steal and we share, and it's wonderful. So I can invite another teacher to be a part of my classroom so she can see what I'm doing. That is great for PLCs. That is fantastic for professional learning communities. It provides accountability. And even just a simple like, hey, I see you're on chapter 15. I'm barely done with 14. Help. What can I do?
What subjects do you teach again?
World history, business, computers, and PE. So I couldn't teach four subjects if I did not have this. So that's actually not true. When I worked at Keira, we taught, 26 subjects? Right? 26 subjects. It was amazing. But once I started to use this, Keira I felt a lot more comfortable in my skin. We're almost done. So what I want you to do, go to those 3 lines at the top left-hand side of your classroom page, and I want you to create a class. Do it. So these 3 lines right here. Da, da, da. Go to classes, and you're going to not join a class, you're going to create a class.
Is there a way to keep your already created class but to change the students?
Yeah.
So you don't have to like redo, so like we did stuff this
Yeah.
year in this.
Yes.
So if I click on it, how do I change my students?
Great question.
So disinvite them or?
Yes.
Okay.
So quick, her question was great, and I'm going to talk to you all about it real fast. So let's say,
Because you don't want to like have to re-upload a bunch of stuff if you can just, okay.
yeah. So the flip side is if you want to do different things,
Right.
then you can archive that class, still have access to it, and create a fresh one.
Cool.
So, but she says, I don't have these kids anymore. What do I do? So you can do actions. Okay, so first of all, you click them. Actions, I can email them, I can remove them, or I can mute them. I use this mute button.
I do too.
Did you know what the letter 8 and a bunch of equal signs and the capital letter D makes? So do my students.
Oh.
And if a student does not behave appropriate digital citizenship, they get muted. So I don't even, they know that's not appropriate. So if anyone is being goofy and getting off task, I mute them for the day. And then we have a little conversation, little tete-a-tete. And, if you want to have access to this, if you want to do your work, you're going to be appropriate. Because yes, students can make a post and put a link to something that's silly and goofy and distracting. Or they could just do their work and be responsible, right? So I like to treat them as if that's the expectation. And if they choose to make a silly choice, that's when you mute them. So again, how to do that? Students, click a student, actions. You can email them, or you can, email, remove, or mute. Questions? You can also mute them from the stream page in a particular thread. And I can show you how to do that in a minute. But you would just click all these people at the end of the year, and you can remove them.
Okay.
So she was asking, she doesn't want to recreate her whole class. She had some great resources. That's one way to do it. I choose to archive my class, and I create a fresh one. So I don't know if you saw, my other classroom was 2016-17. And it just depends on what you want to do.
Sounds good.
Brilliant. Da-da-da-da-da. So make your own class. Go for it. Create some kind of norms, a syllabus, a rubric.